When I get picked up, then I jet off. Then I get picked up when I get off. Straight to the hotel like get washed. Do interviews and press shots. Then I hit the venue, get my wretch on. Feeling hungry, looking at the restaurant. But we gotta rush for our flight, gotta get gone. Then I get picked up when I get off. And I do a few phoners with some new press. Trying to sound alive when I feel like death. Don't know what I need more. Rude or rest, being rude ain't wreck. So I gotta take a picture. I'm with ya when I ain't even with ya. He said follow me back. My only problem with that is that my battery's flat. There's no Twitter, no VB. In the back of the car, the new ET. I wanna phone home, believe me. But I can hear in your tone that you need me. It's ironic that I've smoked to the sun before I spoke to my son. Almost like I'm getting scared of familiar voices. And that's something that I'm really annoyed with. It's like the things that seem to me most just end up one of my million choices. So how do I avoid this without hearing your pointers?
I said no, I'm tired. They say yes, you can. Push me to the fire. I said that you're the man. I said no, I'm tired. They say yes, you can. Push me to the fire. I said that you're the man.
Yo, Rich, wake up. Wake up, we're here. That sleep in the car felt like a few hours. It was just a few minutes. And I reached for my Red Bull to get some power. Or forgot it was finished. Went straight into makeup to get that powder for that fake star image. Now I go look alive, then they throw me my mic. And I'ma straight up kill it. Ladies say I got gorgeous cheeks. Smile for the pictures with me. The whole team spirits like call a seat. Let's find the first place and it's all on me. One more PA, then we all can sleep. That 24 hours was an awesome week. That 24 hours was an awesome week. That 24 hours was an awesome week. Welcome to the darkness I lay, where happiness seems so sad. How